Hello, my friend, and welcome to Sharing Calm. My name is Sydney. Today I have a yin yoga practice to share with you that is focused primarily on the areas of the body that are associated, according to Chinese medicine, with the season of summer. So we have energy lines all throughout the body. Chinese medicine refers to these energy lines as meridians that transport qi, maybe prana, energy, all throughout the body. And summer is associated with the meridians that line up with the heart, the small intestine, the pericardium, and the triple burner. And all of these live in the arms. And the chest, the arms, the upper back, the neck, the head. So all upper body related things. And in the summertime, energetically, we're often overextending, The days are longer. We feel like we can fill our days with doing more things, with more people, all the things that have been on our to-do list since winter. Maybe we feel like we finally have the energy to do them. And oftentimes that leads to depletion or burnout. This fire energy literally burning us up from the inside out, not only from the outside sun inward. It's working in both directions at the same time and can leave us feeling exhausted and tired. So this practice, more than even just focusing on the upper body, the shoulders, the chest, and the neck, I also want to focus on this idea of kind of bringing you back to yourself, letting all of the energy that you've been extending outwards get pulled somewhat back within. And yin naturally offers that. In yin yoga, we always hold postures for minutes at a time. We're trying to be still, quiet, kind of just cultivate contentment and equanimity in the mind within the stillness, within the pose. So that naturally allows for the energy of the body internally and mentally to kind of start to shift down a little bit more towards rest and to hopefully kind of bring some of that light back inward, if that makes any sense. Almost like if you had a fire, like you literally had a fire in a fire pit, and all of the wood that you had put in over the winter, all of the wood that you put in over spring, because wood is the spring element, is now getting burnt up. And it's like we've depleted ourselves, and we need to add a little bit more fuel so that we can keep our fire going to continue us throughout the rest of the year. So sometimes we need to slow down. Let that fire not be a raging bonfire, but maybe more like just a candle, at least for a brief moment. So we're seeking to find a little bit of stillness, a little bit of a sense of quiet in the heart space today in particular. All of that being said, we're going to practice for about an hour, and I'd suggest at least having some sort of pillow or a bolster if you have a yoga bolster. And in addition, if you have yoga blocks, I would recommend two. One works well as well, maybe one block, one cushion, something like that. Some sort of props, at least for the first pose, are definitely going to be needed. If you don't have props, I have at least one alternate option for you, so do not stress in any regard. If any of the postures I'm offering to you do not suit your body for any particular reason, just let them go, leave them aside. Maybe you can find and explore a different variation that starts to bring sensation in the areas of the body we're targeting at the same time. But lying still, sitting still for any of the poses that you need to skip that aren't going to work for you today, allow yourself that space and that time to do so. Let's get started. All right, we're going to begin with supported fish pose. So as mentioned, you can, if you don't have props, I'll say right away, you likely have a pillow. So maybe a pillow from your bed. I'm going to just use my dog as a little knee support. That's not really the important part here, but you could have something under your knees. But if you have a pillow, I want you to take it lengthwise behind yourself. So you might have that bolster cushion or just a pillow from your bed. And then you'll let yourself lie back down onto it, letting the arms rest down at your sides. If you want more of a lift, more of an extension and a bend in your spine, then rather than a pillow, if you have blocks, you can place one block behind the upper back, just about between the shoulder blades. Some people like it a little bit higher, some people like it a little bit lower. So experiment, make sure you're not hurting your back. And a second block, optionally, behind the back of the head. Your knees can stay bent up to the sky. You can support under the knees with an additional pillow or cushion. You can allow the legs to go long. You could even take the legs into more of a butterfly shape, soles of the feet together, knees open wide. Maybe a cross-legged position rather than having the deep hip rotation of butterfly, but still wanting the knees to splay open. Just cross at the ankles and let the knees open. When we work with our body in yin yoga postures, since we're holding the poses for a length of time, you do want to make sure that you find a comfortable edge of sensation where you feel the pose, but it's not too much. It's not so much that it's difficult to remain still. It's not so much that it's difficult to keep a steady breath. It's not so much that it's difficult to begin to work with the concept of steadying the mind. In this posture, the target area, you could think of this being really the whole spine, with a large focus on the chest, the lifting of the chest, extension through the front of the neck, the throat, lengthening and opening through the front of the shoulders. And you may even feel this down the arms, the front or inner edges of the arms. Notice in your body where it is that you feel the pose. And perhaps you keep your awareness steady right there, just noticing breath by breath how the sensation of the shape fluctuates and changes over time, but at the same time, not needing for anything in particular to happen. Allowing whatever comes to come naturally. And more as time passes, maybe the body softens into the shape. Feels more and more supported as time passes. As though the weight of the body can relax more and more down. Every breath, more and more of a release downward into the support of whatever props you have underneath you. Or even the ground. Whatever body parts are touching the earth, touching the floor, touching the ground, feeling yourself heavily releasing into those points. Feel yourself here for one more breath. Feel yourself here for one more breath. And be really mindful, really gentle as you start to lift the head. Support yourself by pressing your elbows, your forearms into the ground as you lift the rest of your body up. And then either find a comfortable seat or let yourself lie down flat on your back. Taking about a minute, flat meaning back flat, legs can be bent or flat and long. Taking about a minute to just rebound the body from that pose. Rebound any neutral posture where the body can come back, almost recover and integrate that pose back into the body in a healthy way, feeling circulation or perhaps energy through the areas that were stimulated by the posture. We'll move from here next into a supine twist. So still a lot happening in the entire length of the spine as we come into a twist. But I'll encourage in these twists for the arms to be open wide so that we get the addition of, again, just like fish pose, still the same target areas, spine and the chest, the front of the shoulders, and the front or the inner edges of the arms. So we'll come into this twist with both knees together. I'll recommend shifting your hips a little bit to the right side. Bend your knees up and in towards the chest, and then allow the knees to fall over to the left side of your mat. Take your time to arrive at your depth. Again, finding your comfortable edge. You might like to place a cushion or blocks between the knees or underneath the knees if the twist all the way to the ground is too much. And in the same regard, if you feel or notice that your right shoulder is lifting up from the ground, you can always support under it with a block, maybe then under your hand with something as well, so that the extension and rotation through the shoulder isn't more than a comfortable amount for you. So you find what you have to do there. Take your time. Each of our poses today we're holding for a pretty lengthy period of time, so you really do have ample opportunity to adjust, give yourself support, and still have lots of breaths to move towards softening, to experience stillness. As we land in this pose, you might reflect for a moment. And think about if there's any areas of life where you feel yourself seeking excitement, or seeking more, seeking to fill the gaps, always seeking to do something, be somewhere, interacting with others at all times. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with this, Just notice if at all you're doing this to run from any kind of sense of restlessness, to disguise or hide any exhaustion. And if that is true to any level, then here, at least here, for this practice, rather than seeking more stimulus, more action, more excitement, more distraction, see if instead you can guide your awareness into the heart, into the center of the chest, and find if there's a place of quiet, of stillness, of peace that resides deep in the heart. Let yourself take just a few more breaths here on this side. Inhaling the knees, take them up through the center. And place your feet onto the ground so you can again shift the hips back to the center first. And then a little bit over to the left side. Lift the knees up and in towards the chest. And from there, take the knees over to the right side of the body. All the same options to support under the knees, between the knees, or under the left shoulder and arm, depending on how much the body is lifting up from the ground. Perfectly okay if any of the body parts hover. It's just if that feels like that hovering brings too much pressure into the joints of the shoulder, the hips, or the knee, that's where you might like to support it with some props underneath you, pillows, cushions, whatever you have instead. And I'll bring your awareness right back to that question we were pondering briefly a moment ago. Do you feel yourself overexerting anywhere in your life? And can you let go of the need to do more just for now? And see if you can find a state of presence, a place of stillness, a space of quiet, right in the center of the chest, right with your heart. Take one more breath. Slowly unwind from your twist once again. Bring the knees back to the center. Align your hips back to the center. And either lie flat with the knees bent. Hands might rest on your body here now, or down more so at your sides. Legs can go long or come up to a comfortable seat for 5 or so breaths. Feel the body coming back. Back to center, back to balance. And then you'll start to make your way up to a comfortable seat if you're lying down. You can sit however you'd like to, and the low body doesn't matter too much here today. If you need to sit up on something, you're more than welcome to do so. We're going to take a little bit of a neck release, starting with the right side. Take the left ear gently over towards the left shoulder. You can always add the hands, one hand on top of the head, right hand towards the shoulder, like you're very softly tugging them away from one another. Some people like the right arm wrapped around the low back. Or hands just resting comfortably in your lap. Wherever the hands rest, try to let the right shoulder drop down and away from the right ear as the head leans away to the left. When your next exhale comes, gently roll your chin down to your chest. Lift your head straight back up through the center. Before you take it to the other side, you might like to roll out the shoulders or gently turn the head left and right. And then as you're ready, you'll take the right ear now, gently, gently over towards the right shoulder. You have the same options, right hand on the head, left hand on the top of the left shoulder, not heavy pressure, but gentle pressure apart. Or maybe the left arm wraps around the low back. Calling your awareness back to the center of the chest, back to the space of the heart. Allowing yourself to continue seeking out the quiet place within. Whether it's easy or hard to come into contact to needn't matter. Just see what you can find as you seek it out. Slowly again, as you exhale, chin gradually releases down to the chest. Lift the head back up through the center. Again, you might roll out the shoulders or slowly turn the head left and right just to let that go. Then we'll make our way into our next set of postures. In these poses, we'll be taking closed wing. If you have a dog like me on your mat, now might be a time to see if the dog will kindly move. Okay, Piper. Yeah, good girl. And you'll come to lie down, and you'll cross as you lie down your right arm underneath the left shoulder, and you'll lie onto it. Now for some, you'll be able to do this with ease, just lying flat. For others, that might be too much pressure right onto the arm, in which case you can lay your torso even down into your hips across a pillow. And then still same idea, right arm threads under the left shoulder, resting the head either down onto the left hand or down onto another pillow or another block, another prop of some sort, now that the rest of the body's lifted up. And then that should release some of the weight off of the arm. If lying flat down onto it was too much, especially for time, you want to be always mindful, we'll be here for time. And then I do want to say you have the option here to close both wings across the front of the chest at the same time. And if you do this, just so you can remember, keep the right arm on top and the left arm on bottom. And then you have what is commonly referred to as bow tie pose with both arms crossed in front of the chest. Up until now, for the most part, we were focusing on the front of the chest, the front of the arms. Now we're bringing some awareness towards the back of the shoulders, the upper back, back of the neck, and down and up the back of the arms. Noticing what you feel through those areas. Letting the body find its place towards softness and that sense of heavily releasing downward once again. Over the next few breaths, start to lift your head. Unthread one or both of your arms and either lie down flat on your mat or come up to a comfortable seat. For some moments of time to pass before we take it to the other side, let the right shoulder release the pose, bounce back, untangle, unwind. If both arms were crossed, same to both. And as you're ready, we'll move to the second side. This time, if you're just doing one arm at a time, it'll be that left arm that threads under the right shoulder and across, letting the head rest down from there. Remember, the body might be lifted up onto something or down flat on the ground. And if you crossed both arms on the first side, I would recommend crossing both arms on the second side. If both arms are being crossed for a second time, you might notice it's slightly different, this time left arm on top. But you might have a little more space to crawl the arms a little bit further in either direction. Perhaps not. But if you do, see if you can find that space comfortably. And with the awareness physically here, again, more towards the upper back and back of the shoulders, you might even notice as you breathe that you can feel expansion of the breath in that area. As though the shoulder blades separate and widen apart with the inhalation. And the body softens heavier into the shape upon exhalation. Gradually begin to exit this posture, this closed wing on the second side, lifting the head, supporting yourself as you gradually either lie down flat or come up to a comfortable seat for a brief rebound period once again. These longer rebounds offer us the time to really tap into the need that we sometimes feel like we have in the summertime to rush and do more. And these long rebounds give us the chance to see that doing more isn't always that we feel we need it. What we actually need deep down inside, what the heart needs to feel refreshed, to feel re-energized. We need to truly rest. Before we head towards Shavasana, I'll give you the option, either stay as you are, lying flat on your belly. You might be resting your forehead on your hands or on your arms. You can come up to a meditative seated posture, or you might like to find child's pose. You can take the big toes towards one another for child's pose. Open the knees out wide. Sit the hips in the direction of the heels. Maybe you take a supported version with a pillow or a cushion underneath the front of the torso, in front of the chest. And rest your head down from there, forehead down or one side of the head down. Or you can take this posture, bringing the forehead down towards the mat. And can bring another opening through the shoulders from a different angle. Maybe the hands are up onto blocks or a cushion, so the arms are lifted up a little bit here. Or a different variation, elbows down, palms together. Bend the elbows so the thumbs start to come towards the base of the skull behind the head. If you come into child's pose and you have any kind of pain in your knees, then you might sit your hips up onto something, lifting them higher, or choose to opt out of the pose entirely. Take one more breath here. And wherever you are, start to slowly make your way towards Shavasana or towards any final resting pose of your choice. Shavasana is a posture where we lie down flat on the back, but you might prefer, rather than lying flat on your back, to lie on either side, to lie on your belly, to sit comfortably with support. If you're lying down on your back and lying flat doesn't feel supportive, in particular of your low back is typically an area where people feel discomfort, taking a cushion underneath your knees or just having your knees bent up to the sky, kind of falling internally towards one another. Either one of those variations often alleviates some pressure and discomfort in the low back. So you can do that as well. Let the arms, if it feels good, open down at your sides, palms face up. Might even take the time to gently roll the shoulders a little bit down and under the upper back. Allow the eyes to close or soften the gaze ever so slightly. Allow this posture, this Shavasana, to be effortless. As though throughout the practice, you were the one practicing yoga. And now here, it's like the yoga is just happening to you. Yoga really means the stilling of the revolutions or the fluctuations or the thoughts, the vibrations of the mind. Rather here than trying to apply effort towards that. Let this pose be an invitation, an offering that you're opening yourself up to the possibility of that, to still the mind, so that you can abide in truth, in true nature, rather than bouncing around in the mind from one idea to the next. Just be here, right here, totally here, with truth, with clarity, with wisdom, with the space and the quiet of the heart. Start to bring your awareness back to your body without necessarily moving just yet. See if you can sense your body in the room that you're in. Can you feel the ground beneath you? The environment around you? Can you begin to sense your breath? The breath flowing into the body, the breath releasing out of the body. As you sense and feel the breath, start to gradually invite it to become deeper, breath by breath, a little fuller, a little bigger. As the breath deepens, you start to feel that expansion in the belly and the torso. Start to invite movement back to the extremities. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, roll the ankles, roll the wrists. Take your time moving and reawakening in the ways that feel best for you. You might even take a full body stretch. Stretching through the arms long overhead, stretching through the legs, the feet, the toes. Eventually letting yourself bend at both knees if they're not already. Let yourself roll all the way over to one side. And from your side, you can stay there if you need. And as you're ready, pressing your way all the way back up to a comfortable seated posture. Sitting up tall, eyes soft or closed. Hands can rest down in your lap, or you might connect the palms together in front of the chest. Notice the experience of your body, of your breath, of your mind, of your heart here, right now. Allow yourself a moment of gratitude for whatever it is that comes to mind. We'll end our practice today by chanting Om together one time. We'll start with a full breath. Let yourself breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth, let it go. Big breath in. Feeling the resonance and the harmony of the whole universe within yourself. Lift the thumb knuckles to the center of the forehead if that feels right for you. Recognition of that inner guide, the divine that exists within each of us. That within me bows with respect, reverence, and gratitude to that within you. Namaste. Thank you, my friend, so very much for sharing your time, your practice, and your presence with me today. I'm here if you have any questions at all. Don't hesitate to ask below or send me an email. If you liked this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up so that I know for next time to continue to offer more seasonal yin like this. And I look forward to practicing with you again soon. I hope you have a beautiful remainder of your week. Goodbye, my friend.